Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. So today we are tackling a challenge that literally gives infrastructure teams all over the world absolute migraines. And yep, I'm talking about the dreaded cross-account AWS migration. If you've ever, sacrificed a whole weekend just trying to move cloud infrastructure, you know for sure it's rarely a walk in the park. But today, we're looking at a genuinely elegant solution, Cloudshot's Infra Migration feature. We're going to see how it takes a totally chaotic chore and turns it into a smooth, guided, automated workflow. So let's start with a big question. Why exactly is cross-account AWS migration usually so complex, risky, and time-consuming? Well, think about it. The second you try to move resources, you're immediately hit with the headaches of manual replication. You're constantly fighting with these intricate networking dependencies, untangling a complicated web of IAM permissions, managing snapshots, and probably the most anxiety-inducing part, flying completely blind while trying to track your progress. It's just a messy, high-stakes puzzle. To really appreciate the solution here, we've got to validate the frustration of the old way of doing things. Teams struggle endlessly with IAM permissions across accounts, the mind-numbing tediousness of manual replication, complex networking dependencies, and basically just flying blind when tracking their migration progress. It's a seriously chaotic environment. But this is exactly where Cloudshot steps in. It cuts right through the noise, letting organizations migrate AWS infrastructure resources directly from one unified DevOps control plane. It basically takes all that chaos and brings it into a single organized platform. Now, a successful migration actually starts before you ever even hit the migrate button. There are three vital prerequisites mapped out here. First up, you have to connect an AWS account under Manage Hyperscaler Accounts right in the platform. Second, and honestly, this is absolutely critical for cross-account moves, you need to configure the IAM trust policy on the target account. Think of it kind of like setting up VIP passport control in advance, so you don't get stopped at the border. And third, you've got to ensure sufficient IAM permissions on both the source and the target ends. Securing this access up front is literally the magic step that prevents those dreaded cross-account access failures down the line. So once you open a new migration in the Cloudshot dashboard, you are greeted by this beautifully guided step-by-step wizard. Let's start with step one, resource selection. Right at the top right of the wizard, you just select the resource type you want to move. And look at this extensive list of supported resources. You can migrate VPCs, EC2 instances, EKS clusters, RDS databases, and S3 buckets. It covers basically all your critical infrastructure bases. Now, just for the sake of today's specific walkthrough, we're going to go ahead and select VPCs and their associated subnets. Moving right along to step two, source configuration. This is where you select the AWS account and region hosting your infrastructure. Now, what's really interesting here are the auto-discovery features. The exact moment you select the account, Cloudshot automatically discovers all available VPCs. It instantly displays the VPC name, the ID, CIDR block, and availability status. You literally just check the boxes for the VPCs you want, click Continue, and then pick the subnets you want to co-migrate. It is incredibly seamless. Next up is step three, target configuration. Basically, where is this infrastructure going? You select the target AWS account, whether that's the same account for an intra-account move or a different one for a cross-account move. And here is a brilliantly smart safety feature. Cloudshot automatically detects cross-account scenarios and instantly displays a trust policy warning if you need one. It keeps your network totally secure. Then, you just pick your target region. You can place resources into an existing VPC and subnet, or, and this is a real game changer, leave it empty and just let Cloudshot automatically create new networking resources at the destination for you. Now we arrive at step four, migration mode. Let's pause for a second here because this is a crucial decision point. Cloudshot gives you two very distinct paths. On the one hand, you've got with data, which is also called a full clone. This migrates the infrastructure along with all its attached data, snapshots, volumes, contents, the whole shebang. It creates a complete replica, making it ideal for when workloads have to be operational immediately. On the other hand, you have without data, or infra only. This copies just the infrastructure configuration. It's lightning fast and seriously minimizes AWS data transfer costs, so it's absolutely perfect for disaster recovery testing or spinning up fresh staging environments. You just choose exactly what fits your strategy. Also within this wizard, you get the option to add custom prefixes or suffixes to your migrated resource names. So custom prefixes are essential to easily distinguish your infra and save you from some major production nightmares. Finally, step 5 is the review summary. Right before launching, Cloudshot gives you a complete rundown. It displays your source and target accounts and regions, the migration type you chose, your selected VPCs and subnets, and exactly what services are going to be migrated. If it happens to be a cross-account move, you also get one last trust policy validation reminder. Once you verify this checklist, you can confidently hit Start Migration. As soon as you hit Start, the migration job appears right in the job's dashboard, and when you click on it, a detailed activity panel opens up. This is where it gets exciting, because you aren't just left staring at a frozen console wondering if the whole thing crashed. Right there on the Overview tab, you get live, real-time progress tracking. It displays exactly which resources are migrated, the live source-to-target mappings, all those complex infrastructure dependencies, and the current up-to-the-second migration status. Historically, hitting migrate meant basically staring at a loading bar and just praying. But not anymore. And this brilliantly illustrates what is honestly the ultimate victory for any DevOps engineer: complete operational transparency. Cloudshot completely eliminates the black box of cloud migration. You see absolutely everything. If you want to know exactly what is happening under the hood, you just click over to the Logs tab. It provides incredibly detailed execution visibility. You can rapidly monitor individual resource-level operations, literally every single AWS API call executed during the migration, snapshot preparations, instance launches, and the step-by-step networking creation. It gives infrastructure teams total, uncompromised visibility throughout the entire lifecycle. And the visibility doesn't just magically stop when the transfer is done either. Cloudshot meticulously tracks every single resource created at the target environment. It logs the new EC2 instances, security groups, AMIs, VPCs, subnets, and any additional dependent resources. It's a fully guided automated workflow from discovery all the way through to execution and monitoring. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a thought based on what we've seen today. How much time are you currently wasting on manual migrations? From infrastructure discovery all the way to execution, the old way is clearly holding teams back. Whether you need a full clone migration with all your attached data, or just a lightning-fast infrastructure-only copy, Cloudshot puts secure, scalable cloud transformation into a single DevOps platform. If you're tired of those manual headaches, it might just be time to schedule a demo and explore Cloudshot Infra Migration in action for yourself. Thanks so much for joining me today on this explainer, and keep learning.